Greetings, diehards. This is your boy Evil, the Any Star host of the Knicks podcast. A little bit different view you got here. Changed the little overlay, so you got Die Knicks at the top. Subscribe on right there. Subscribe right there. So make sure you guys get out there and do that. Hit the thumbs up as well, so so you can support the channel. Definitely need some more clicks on this thing, man, so everybody can get a taste of what Evil the man has to say. Also at the bottom of the screen over here, you see DireKnicks.com. You can go check that website out, find out a lot of merch and stuff that's going on there. Also, my affiliation with the MBK fan is also there. While we're also here, man, I want you guys to go to Manscaped. Check out manscaped.com and use promo code DieHard20 to get 20% off and free shipping. So anyway, you guys are here, man, because you saw the thumbnail. We're gonna be talking about Obi Toppin, man. You can see what's going on at the bottom. What's the deal with Obi Toppin? Is Obi Toppin a bust? You know what I'm saying? Are we using him wrong? What's the issue with Obi Toppin, man? So, first and foremost, right? Let's just talk about the beginning. I gotta say, I was all in on Obi Toppin. It's not necessarily just because of his dunking and stuff like that. Because it's a little bit annoying how fans just assume certain things. But when you talk about the draft, he was like older, the most mature one. Obviously, player of the year, that type of thing. All these different things that's going on with Obi. You would think that he would be more NBA ready than any of these guys. He was a little skinny. You could tell his legs, upper body, he's not need to get developed. But just basic ability to score, his athleticism, being able to run and jump and stuff like that, you would think that that he was more ready to compete. In the beginning, he started off pretty good. He kind of was like walking, running around with like a rabbit without a head. But all that rabbit without a head stuff kind of just fell by the wayside because he hasn't been producing. Not just skill wise on the basketball court, contributing to the game, but the stat sheet has been empty. Physicality as wise, guys are just pushing him to the side. Just the other game against Orlando, Aaron Gordon was going on a fast break and he just walked Obi right out of bounds, and Obi had like no chance. He was just standing there, kind of patting him on his arms, and Gordon just ran him right over. And if you got a power forward, you just can't have that in your power forward, man. So just take a look at this list here. I mean, these are all the first round picks from this past draft, 2020. Obi's right there, number 8. Like I said, he fell to us at 8. So we had plenty of discussions and stuff like that. Some of these guys here, I gotta say, Tyrese Halliburton is somebody that hindsight is 2020. That's probably the guy we should have taken because we need a point guard. Devin Vassal's another guy, that everyone was talking about. Some guys that people weren't talking about, say Denny Vija. People weren't talking about him. I had him pretty high. Killian Hayes, he's been a bust as well, even though he's been hurt. But even when he plays, see, that's the thing. Even when he played, he wasn't really playing particularly well. Derrick Rose was trying to give him a boost of confidence, but he wasn't really playing that well either when he was there. So Isaac Okoro's been playing okay. He hasn't really shown much more than the fact that he's just a really good athlete. He plays very hard, super motor. So Patrick Williams, I don't know if he's a bust or not. He's been showing decent. He's been showing more than Obi Toppin. A lot of these guys that I'm talking about here has been showing more than Obi Toppin. Even somebody that I'm calling. Like not a bust, but just like he had a weak showing. Killian Hayes still kind of been playing better than Obi. Even Denny. A lot of people don't like Denny, but Denny's been playing pretty well too. Just taking a look at this draft, man. This has been a surprising draft. Okongwu hasn't really made his appearance yet. He's I think he's still on Atlanta. I don't know I can't remember if they traded him or not. Kira Lewis is the name that everyone's been talking about. He's kind of he had his little taste too, but he also had his moment. Obi hasn't had his moment yet. What's he? Aaron Naismith, he hasn't really done anything yet. Cole Anthony had his moments before he got hurt. Isaiah Stewart is a good player. Alexei Pokusevski, he's had little flashes here and there. I don't think we've seen Josh Green this year. Sadiq Bey has been an absolute steal for it was Brooklyn originally, but he's playing for Detroit now. Precious has been really good. I was very high on Precious. A lot of these different guys. Maxi's had his NBA moment. I believe he had like a 40-point game or something like that, something close to that. Some of these guys here, Manuel Quickly, thank God we got him. He was a steal for us at the position he was drafted, 25th. A couple of these guys here. Jaden McDaniels has been playing pretty good. You can just go down the line. Desmond Bain, a lot of different guys, man. You can just keeping going down this list. It was a draft that everyone was kind of discounting, and it ended up being a good draft, man. But let's talk about Obi, man. What is the problem with Obi? Is it his strength? Is it his skill? Let's just take a look at his highlight, man. So I'm gonna pull up his highlight here on YouTube. So I'm gonna shout out whoever this is. I'll put their a link to their. Let me get this spelling right, like I'm dyslexic or something. Let's get I'll put their link in the description. So let's just do season highlights, I guess. We got some season highlights here. We got full game highlights, college basketball highlights. Let me see, season highlights. Yeah, man. That's here we go. Let's try this one. So I mean, a good way to see what's going on with him is the highlight tape. Highlight tape is gonna show all of his highlights, all of his good points, stuff that he does well is gonna emphasize it as well. So this is gonna be the first time I'm looking at it as well. So let's just look at it together. This is Obi Toppin here. We're gonna be highlighting Next One's channel. So let's do that here. Stupid YouTube survey. All right, let's watch this together, guys. That was Obi's first dunk. It was a pass from Kevin Knox. That was nice, But I mean, we already know that he can do that. If he gets space, to dunk, here's another one against Golden State. Now, early on, the player comparison with him was Amari. Everybody was saying he was going to be Amari Stoudemire. This is a post up here. I think this is like a hook shot that he did. Look who was guarding him. It's not like somebody with size was guarding him. That was that dude from Miami. Right here, somebody drove against him, and he just they almost knocked him over, calling for that alley oop. He doesn't really get up that high on the alley oop, My thing is if you're gonna get an alley oop, you're not getting opportunities. As soon as you get it, you want everyone to know. It's just like that. But for him to be so athletic, quote unquote, just watching the way that he finished there, he can't overpower anybody. He runs like Bambi, like baby Bambi with the weak legs, Just watching his highlights here. Look at him. He runs like my 5-year-old. So it's very scary, man. Watching him shooting threes here. You don't necessarily want your power forward to be launching threes like this. A lot of his threes, are like moon shots. A lot of them been air balls recently. I don't know if he's lost his confidence or maybe just the way that Tom Thibodeau was playing him. That's a decent post up move, but he's not playing against somebody stronger that should be overpowering him like that. He doesn't really get to the rim fast enough. I'm kind of like being negative with him. See stuff like that. If he can get the ball in a situation where he can get up there and really take the rim off, then he should be doing that. I feel like that is just taking him. He just I don't know, man. I'm just very disappointed in our pick. So I mean, let's just get into what are we gonna do about this, man? Like are we using him wrong? He's most successful when it's in a pick and roll situation. So in order for him to get these pick and roll situations, we're gonna have to run more pick and roll, and we just don't play that type of offense. Truthfully, the Knicks have been playing more of a what do you call a triangle system. If you watch as soon as the Knicks come across half court, they're always making that side pass, whatever, and then they start switching the guy around the other side. And now they're running a triangle with Randall, and a lot of movement in that. It's not like a straight fixed triangle, but they're basically running the freaking triangle, man. A lot of movement around the triangle, but everything's surrounded by Obi being the focal point in that high post, And when they swing it around to do the 2-man game. That's all triangle aspects, man. So we're basically running the triangle here with Obi Toppin, Julius Randle being the focal point, being distributed and stuff like that. That's why all of our guards have low assists, and why somebody like Julius Randle can get 17 assists, when our guards are hurt. So this is the way we play. So let's say, God forbid, I don't even want to say it, but let's say if something was to happen to Julius Randle where he needs like some days off or stuff like that. We can't look to Obi Toppin and stick him in the starting lineup and ask him to play the way that Julius Randle plays, because we would have to change the whole offense just to get the Knicks to function if we're going to focus on Obi Toppin. So all that rambling and stuff, watching that video or stuff like that, it's just to emphasize that Obi Toppin is a player that is a pick and roll guy. He's an energy dude. He's a guy that you want to make sure you want to try to get him in space. Get the ball swinging around where when he gets it, nobody's around him and he can throw down a dunk and stuff like that. You want to utilize him in the open court. The Knicks don't run fast breaks. We do play defense, but we don't push the ball in such a way where Obi Toppin is running the wings to get dunks and stuff like that. Truthfully, the NBA doesn't really play like that. So, if you're gonna be doing that style of basketball, you're basically gonna have to change everything that we do. So my question to fans that are watching and might watch it on the replay and stuff like that is what exactly should we do with Obi Toppin? Are we gonna keep this guy? Is it somebody that we're gonna hold on to for next year, see what he's gonna do next year, or is somebody that we're gonna end up trading just because, for the simple fact that he just doesn't fit what we're doing? So let's just talk about keeping him until next year, right? So okay, he's a young guy still. He's like what? He's 23. He's old for a rookie, but he can develop and get whatever peak skill that you think that he's gonna get. Run and jump guy. Maybe the 3-pointer gets better. Maybe he gets a mid-range game together. Maybe he gets a little bit stronger. Okay, let's say he does that. Is that still going to be good enough to push Julius Randle off the team? Especially in the way that Julius Randle is playing. Now, of course, if Obi Toppin was to maximize all of his strengths of playing basketball, he can be effective for these Knicks. I made a podcast not too long ago. I'll try to see if I can pin it here once I post it. I compared them to Kevin McHale and Larry Bird. Now, they're not going to be as great. I mentioned that in the podcast. They're not going to be as great as these guys, but in the simple fact that Larry Bird started most of the time and Kevin McHale came off the bench. Both guys end up being Hall of Fame players. So with McHale coming off the bench, he was able to play his style and dominate, in the minutes that he got. And then crunch time came, they both were on the court. But they always just like Brooklyn is doing with Harden and Kyrie. With Durant out, they're trying to alternate to make sure there's one scorer in the game at all times. So I mean, maybe the Knicks can do that. And they always have somebody, one of them in the game at all times where they can play off of Randle and then use Obi, and then when it gets down to crunch time, we can use both of them. But here's a problem, man. This is not the 80s. The 80s guys ran the fast break. But Boston Celtics were a really good fast break team. But the thing about it, they stretched the floor. Kevin McHale stretched the floor. Of course, Larry Bird stretched the floor. Larry Bird was a superb passer. Julius Randle's a superb passer. McHale is a finisher. Obi Toppin, that's the problem. Is Obi Toppin going to be that finisher? So I'll talk about that with some more player comparisons as we go along here. But if you're going to keep him next year, okay, that's fine and dandy. Keep him in the stash and just don't play him anymore because right now he's shooting a lot of air balls, like I mentioned. He's not getting to the rim like he should. He's getting overpowered by everybody. That guy was Duncan Robinson in Miami that he posted up. He barely can get past him, and he kind of threw the ball behind his head, and the ball went in. And Duncan was just standing there like, okay, he wasn't doing nothing to overpower a guy that's a perimeter guy. He's not a post up guy. So if Obi Toppin can overpower smaller players, then he has a long way to go. So he shouldn't be playing, especially in the manner in which that we're using him right now. Right now, the Knicks are using him as a 3-and-D kind of guy. They got him stretched out all the way at the top of the keys a lot. Dribble handoffs, catching the ball, swing back for him to shoot threes. That's not his style of play. He wasn't playing that way in Dayton. You didn't draft him to be that way. So he's definitely in a role that he shouldn't be playing in. You would rather see Kevin Knox in that role because that's what Kevin Knox wants to do. He wants to stay up top, be free to hit that open 3-pointer, and that's something that Kevin Knox would be successful doing. Well, we got Obi Toppin doing that. Now, this might be something in the higher ups where they're they just want Obi Toppin to get his minutes, because he's a first round draft pick. But like I said, at this point, we might need to just shelve him. So with the trade deadline coming, is trading him a good idea. Now I've been talking about it on Twitter and stuff like that, but like the only way you would trade Obi Toppin is if you're gonna get a big player. You know, it's not gonna be for a freaking you know, what's the name, Oladipo. We're not gonna trade you know, at least I hope they're not gonna trade Obi Toppin for like a guy like Oladipo or what's the other guy, Buddy Hield or something like that. These type of guys. These guys are mediocre, you know, fringe kind of players that, you know, you don't trade your number one draft pick at this juncture for a guy like that. You would trade him for a cat. That's like the only person that I could think of that you would trade Obi Toppin for to get cat. And you know, Minnesota, I think, would do that because they would put Obi Toppin in a position where he would be more successful, be that wing guy that's going to get those pick and roll dunks, and they're going to be running a lot more. You know, they already got their Jordan figure there with Anthony Edwards. He's been playing well, scoring the ball, a very cocky individual. They got you know, what's his name? D'Angelo's over there. He's hurt, you know, but next year he'll be here. The other guy that got himself in you know, in trouble, Beasley, you know, he's there as well. So they got some players over there that they're gonna be looking to play more up tempo, and they can you know, build around that type of thing if they decide to trade you know, Karl Anthony Towns, you know. So that's the only way that I would trade Obi Toppin. So you know, if it really comes down to it, if we do make a little trade to get better, Obi Toppin shouldn't be involved unless it's for Cat. And right now, I think we should shut him down. You know, once we're 100% healthy and we have Taj Gibson working and we got you know, Mitchell Robinson working, you know, this is pending no trades and stuff like that. If we get healthy and stuff, Obi Toppin could just chill. I would rather see Kevin Knox. If you want a 3-and-D guy, let Kevin Knox play. You know, if you need somebody to play power forward or whatever, a little bit more stronger, just utilize Nerlens Noel. You know, you already have Taj Gibson and you have Mitchell Robinson at the center. So utilize Nerlens Noel in that center spot to give you that extra defense and stuff like that. You know, just to give Julius Randle some burn, you know, some blow, you know, pause, you know. But you know, right now Obi Toppin is being embarrassed and he really shouldn't be out there. You know, we're not utilizing him properly. Yeah, man. So let's get into some player comparisons, man. So I have a couple guys here. I'm gonna use a former Knick that also was in a dunk contest. So I mean, you guys can already guess what I'm gonna come up with here. This is gonna be Kenny Walker. So I don't have these things queued up. I'm putting it in now. But there's a particular video here. Like I said, all these videos I'll link everybody in the description once I finish with this stuff. But we can you could just do a basic the Kenny Walker highlight right here. This is basically the only one. So I got to turn down the sound here because it's like blowing my eardrums out. But let's check it out together. I just want to emphasize just the way that Kenny Walker moves. Kenny Walker also was like fragile and kind of just moved like every bone in his body was breaking, you know, like Bambi, you know. Even though those dunks were cool, he landed all awkward. Look at the way he runs. He exactly the way Obi Toppin runs. You know, runs just like there's something physically wrong with him. You know, like he might have like some kind of like nerd. Look how he he's running like oh my god, maybe that's why he had injuries later on in his career and stuff like that. It's just the way that he moved, you know, kicking his legs and stuff out of there. Really skinny. He was a power player, but he never was able to gain any weight. You know, really goofy. You know, was kicking his legs out, duck walk kind of dude. You know, it's just weird. But the one thing about Obi Toppin and Kenny Walker is that even though Kenny Walker had his shortcomings, Kenny Walker still would bang it on you. You know, and Kenny Walker still had a decent enough post game where he would make a move and will be able to like I said, bang it on you. You know, Kenny Walker, he averaged what, like 10 points a game or so, like throughout his career. Let me stop. Throughout his Knicks career, I think he averaged 10 points a couple times. You know, so he was okay. You know, they had their what's that, the bomb squad with the Knicks who were shooting threes and stuff like that, running gun kind of thing. So he kind of fit that bill a little bit. But like I said, all the comparisons as far as the way that Obi Toppin runs, Kenny Walker runs the same weird way that he does. You know, the frame, he was always overpowered in the 80s. You know, the late 80s and stuff when he came along. He was always overpowered. There was a much more physical game, and you know, Kenny Walker probably would have succeeded more in this era. But in that era there, he was just more overpowered. But it's still, like I said, Kenny Walker would make a spin move, baseline strong, and still banging on you. You know what I'm saying? So at least he was good for that. But everything else is the same, man. I just don't get what's going on with Obi Toppin's mechanics where he runs. He kind of runs like he literally runs like my 5-year-old, man. If I can get video of my son running, they run exactly the same. So it's just this very odd, his mechanics where he runs, and I just don't, I mean, he's not a bust. I know I put that word out there a couple times, whatever. But I mean, Obi Toppin is not a bust. He's a rookie. He has plenty of time to grow in his young career. Like I said, he was like 23, I guess they said he is. That's man, that's so old, man, for a rookie. But I mean, 2 years or so, by the time he gets Julius Randle's age, maybe he might be some player. But at this time, in 3 years or so, when he gets Randle's age, Randle will be damn near 30. You know what I'm saying? So are we waiting for Obi to get better? Like I said, we could stash Obi for the time being, and just build around him, and then when he's ready, he can come up into that spot maybe. So let's bring somebody else into this. This is another player from back in the days that I actually think that that Obi would compare a little bit better. Like I said, we all talked about Amari Stoudemire. But Amari Stoudemire was more of a power kind of guy, definitely nasty. He was very nasty. But Obi doesn't really have that kind of nasty. So I mean, let's just get into it, man. You guys can see it on the side there. I'm gonna compare him to Chris Gatlin. Now this is a max because Chris Gatlin, even though he came off the bench as well, that's another reason why I chose him. He came off the bench as well. But he was also a beast. He actually made an all-star team coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? So most of these highlights are going to be a lot of Warriors and some from Dallas because I think he made the all-star team with Dallas. So just check out his post moves. You can see him there. Skinny dude too, very skinny, but somehow he always found a way to get to the basket. Nice pick and roll player. Always had his head up. Good to catch the ball. You can see his frame. Frame is very very frail. Same way like Obi, very awkward. He'll do extra things just to get himself free because he's not overpowering anybody. One thing that Gatlin always did is that he had a high field goal percentages. So when I used to watch him, I just don't understand why he was coming off the bench and why teams weren't really trying to get him because the guy could score his ass off, really. Decent defender, always kept the ball high, as you can see. Use his skinny frame to kind of roll around guys and then go up and score. You can see right there, he gets the ball and just turns and just rolls up. It was decent defender, a good help defender. Not necessarily a good one-on-one defender. But look, as you can see, he did make an all-star team with Dallas. So, I mean, I could see Obi having this type of career where, like right now with the Knicks, he'll be coming off the bench. Maybe if he goes to another team, maybe he might be able to be a little bit more than that. But he was a little bit fiery. You can see that he was intense. Obi for the most part, he kind of looks like chicken in the deer in the headlights kind of thing. But I just want to see if they're gonna show a little bit more of his post game because he was a really good scorer. Let's see if we can speed this up a little bit. There's a little bit more highlights here. Very very slim, like I said. Double clutching. Like I said, he did have like a Swiss Army knife kind of post game. So I just kind of want to see if they would show any of that. Most of this stuff is dunking and stuff like that because it is a highlight tape. Yeah, look at that. Just a way that he used to get into space because he wasn't physical, so he always knew how to get himself into a spot where he can score easily. Not gonna overpower you. It was mostly finesse. So I think Obi could do that. I think Obi can do that, but he's just gonna have to get mature and develop that post game, and that's he's not gonna do that getting minutes, man. Chris Gatlin he got it coming off the bench as well, but he got it also by being aggressive, and Obi's just not aggressive. He's just not strong enough. He doesn't know how to use his whatever he has now. He doesn't have. I mean, he can't gain weight mid-season. That all that stuff, like I said, all that stuff is gonna have to be something that he grows into as in the off season. He can't do that in the middle of the year. He's not gonna gain 20 pounds during the year. He's not going to gain a post game in the middle of the year. This is something that's going to happen in the off season. So that's why I'm leaning towards Obi Toppin, like just being shut down, for the foreseeable future, at least until next season, unless we really need him. So let's get into a bust, right? So we're gonna talk about bust. So a big time draft bust, somebody that compares to Obi a little bit. This guy was a little bit more physical, whatever. Like let me just throw the name out there. I'm gonna, as you guys can, you guys, I don't have it up here, but this is gonna be Tyrus Thomas. So Tyrus Thomas, he was a high draft pick. He could have been a Knicks pick. Let's just get into those highlights there. So like I said, all these videos that I'm using, I'm gonna post links in my description. So here we go. Same kind of player, pick and roll kind of guy, give the ball, jump up and dunk. He was another guy that wasn't really strong, as you can see there. He was just trying to jump up and dunk it, jump in the air as quick as he can, because he's not going to overpower anybody. Kind of short. I think he was like 6'9", more 6'8". He really he was just a dunker. At least when he dunked it, he made it known. That he was attacking the rim. Obi Toppin, he's had a couple highlights and stuff like that, but when he makes his moves to the basket, like if you want to play, man, you gotta freaking go for it, man. You gotta, Obi Toppin doesn't really go for it like that. Run hard and like if you're gonna make that move, man, make guys know that you're there, man. His Tyrus Thomas highlights is not gonna be in depth, because he didn't have no post game. He wasn't trying to get better, and not for nothing, I think Tyrus Thomas is still young enough to play in the NBA right now. So it's like bugged out. His career was really short. He was more known as a defender. So that that's why he did have a little bit of buzz about him, because he was a decent defender. Obi Toppin doesn't really do that, man. You gotta, like, somebody like him, he's really gonna have to like just go for it, But I feel like Obi doesn't really do that. So anyway, based off the way that we've been playing right now, this is a guy that will be like the ultimate upgrade for our current Knicks. The way that we play, the way that like I said, we've been running the triangle a lot, and using Obi in like a small forward kind of thing. Got him shooting threes and all kind of stuff. So I'll just throw this guy out there. This is Sean Marion. So Sean Marion, he rebounded the ball, he defended and stuff like that. He also had, as you can see right there, he had that weird 3-point shot there. It's crazy. But we can click any highlight, man. You guys seen Sean Marion enough. You don't really need to see more of it. But you kind of get the picture, man. Sean Marion, the way that he played. Let's just see anything. Let's do this. Let's do this 36 point game when he was with Phoenix. And as you can see, using YouTube, got the ads and stuff. Not using my paid account. I got a paid account, but I'm using this one here. Anyway, just take a little bit look at Sean Marion. This is from House of Highlights. Speed this up a little bit. So Sean Marion, he got up and down the court the same way that Obi does, fast break. Sometimes he dribbles, a little bit weird, but stuff like that. You want to, like, Obi Toppin will have to be able to shoot a pull-up jump shot like that. He's going to have to be able to defend guys out on the perimeter. He's going to have to block shots just like that. Let's just see what else is going on here with Sean Marion. Let's see if they get him like going to the basket. Being available, getting into space, getting into a spot where you can be successful. Let's get down to the middle here. Maybe they'll show him isolating a little bit. This is him on a pick and roll. Just gotta be aware of when to move. You get your jump shot and just make it mid-range game. Just stuff like that, man. Basically, where's Sean Marion here? Sean Marion is right there. He's in the post there. Just kind of like lurking. If you're not going to be strong enough, man, you got to lurk. You have to be sneaky, use your quickness, just like Marion did. The guy's bigger than him. You got to, just play opportunistic, man. Play smart. If you're athletic, be quicker than the guy that's guarding you, man. They're not over there. They're overpowering you. So you got to do other things, man. Obi still hasn't really figured that out. because he's never really had to. He's always just been a runner and dunker. You know, yeah, man. So that's really the end of the player comparisons, man. So what do you guys think, man? I'm doing a lot of talking here, but what do you guys think? So I mean, you guys are pretty active in here, as you guys mostly are when you come on here. We got May 4th. Obi Toppin's fine. Yeah, talked about that Bambi stuff, man. You watch his legs, man. He looks like my 5-year-old, man. Watch a bunch of pre-kindergartners run in the yard. That's the way Obi Toppin looks, man. So there's something that needs to change too. He's gonna have to figure that out. He's gonna have back problems. Just the way that he jumps. If he puts on weight, how is his legs gonna fit that? Is it gonna affect his game? So this is all things that we got to think about, man. With this dude, like I said, we can still hold on to him. There's nothing hurting us to keep him. But if we could trade him for like I said, got to be somebody pretty big like Karl Anthony Towns. And I think, like I said, with all the chips we have and the draft picks and the cast picks we have, we could get Karl Anthony Towns. I made a couple podcasts about that as well. You guys can check that out. I got Bodega Wi-Fi's here. Frank with the ice grill. Yeah, Frank, I remember. But the thing with Frank is I'm glad you brought him up because Frank is Obi could be Frank. We could be talking about 4 years from now, and we're still waiting for Obi Toppin to develop. But the thing is, 4 years from now, Obi Toppin is going to be what 27 years old in 4 years. So I mean, are we gonna wait till he's 27 years old for him to figure it out? Still holding on to him. So say we're gonna I'll pay him X amount of money to extend him. Meanwhile, he hasn't done shit for you, and you're still waiting for him to do that thing that you think that he could do. Frank is that guy. I mean, players in this league dunk on other players. That's happened before. So when Frank does it's a spectacle. And then he had 13 points. The last time that he scored a lot, I believe he scored 13 points as well. But in between there, I think he had a 9-point game. He had like 4 straight zeros. I think he had a 5-point game in there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, this is Frank. It's not like it's not all about scoring like everyone says. But all of a sudden, when Frank scores, that's an important thing. But I thought Frank scoring isn't important. You know what I'm saying? So. I just don't want to get into that. We always talk about the Knicks always doing the same thing. Well, listen, if we're gonna wait all these years for Knox to figure it out, Knox still hasn't figured it out. We're gonna wait all these years for Frank to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So now we're gonna do the same thing and just wait all these years for Obi to figure it out. When we have access, we have. It's not like we don't have any draft picks. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of young players on our roster. So I mean, why not flip if we can? Why not flip him and to get another player? At this point, we got 2 number 1 draft picks coming in the summer, for the draft. So once they come here, now we have to develop those guys. We can't worry about signing one of our guys just to continue to develop them. That's like ridiculous to me. We can draft another Frank Ntilikina. This trading deadline we can trade for Frank Ntilikina. Somebody that can play decent defense and shoot the 3. We can trade for somebody. You know what I'm saying? So. It is what it is, man. But we also don't want to defeat that too, man. Fareed, yeah, Fareed is a good player comparison, but Fareed was the manimal. He was short. What 5? 6'8". He couldn't shoot 3s. That's the reason why he's not in the NBA, which is a shame because I mean he still can help a team. Just because he can't shoot the 3. He's still a good rebounder defender and runs the floor and stuff like that. That's still valuable in the NBA. So just because the guy doesn't shoot 3s, he's not in the league anymore. It's just weird, man. I don't recall him being hurt. I think he was hurt a little bit, but I don't recall him having any like career-ending injuries. So maybe it might have been some off-the-court stuff with that dude. Montrezl Harrell is another good one. It took Montrezl a little while to get to where he is now, but at the same time, when they did play him, he showed signs that he could do the stuff that he's doing now. When Obi gets the ball, he doesn't have signs of doing anything. Like I said, it could be the Knicks' fault that they're not playing him right, but it's not the Knicks' fault. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can play, you can play. It's not like we're catering to our other rookie, Quickly. We're not catering to Quickly. Quickly just came on the scene in that preseason and said, "Yo, this is my spot, fam. This is my spot." And he took a spot from guys that were already here. One of the guys got traded to Detroit. So it is what it is, man. You got to show and prove. And it's time to do that, man. Like I said, Obi, still gonna be on a short leash because it's only his first year. And whatever, man. Tell Tibbs it's not the '80s. That's I think that's a tired thing there too, man. You got to play to win. I mean, so if guys are not playing, up to par with the rest of the team, say like a Bullock. Bullock is, he's not the greatest player, man, but at least he's engaged. That's the reason why Knox is not playing, because when Knox does get in the game, he's not engaged. Obi Toppin, he's in the game, and the reason why that he doesn't play more than he does, because he gets blanked straight across the board. I think he had 6 minutes last game. Knox also had the same amount of minutes. These guys blanked out the whole game, and just watching them play, they just look like they weren't involved. Now it's like, oh, is it because they're not getting consistent minutes? That's why they've been playing so bad. Whatever excuse you want to give them, man. But either you could play or you can't. So this guy, Elfrid Payton. Everybody keeps talking bad about Elfrid Payton, right? But Elfrid Payton, he was hurt. He came in the first game back from being hurt and got 22 points that game, and helped lead us to a win. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be ready. You just got to be ready to play. It was this guy, Austin Rivers. He was playing. Now he's not, because he didn't deserve to play. So now he's on the shelf to be traded as well. So anyway, this is Bodega Wi-Fi. He's talking about we need a 5 that can space the floor for our cutters, Knox, whatever. But I mean, you can't say the Knox is a cutter because he doesn't play with it. He doesn't play for us. You can't really say nothing about Obi being a cutter because we don't use him as a cutter. You know what I'm saying? So you're talking about changing what we do. You're talking about getting a player to change what we do. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, getting a 5 that can space the floor for our cutters and stuff like that. So that's somebody that can shoot the 3 and pass. Cousins, that's a guy that's not signed to anybody right now, and Cousins will be perfect in that spot because Cousins shoots the 3 really well, and he could pass really well. So that might be somebody that we could add to help this situation. And truthfully, that it would help. Having somebody with that skill level to be able to make those extra passes in a manner in which Randall does. Having somebody coming off the bench that could do something similar to Randall would help the situation. So yeah, it would help Knox a little bit, because to get him open for shooting 3s and whatever, and just maybe take a little bit more highlight off of those guys and focus on Cousins, because if Cousins is standing there, you got to guard him. So in theory, somebody like Cousins would give an opportunity for Knox to cut to the basket or Obi to cut to the basket. But if we're playing winning basketball, neither one of those guys are going to be playing. So it's a catch-22, man. But like I said, you got to be careful. In my opinion, you got to be careful. Trying to get players to help another player play well. That just doesn't sound right. I got to wash that out my mouth. That scenario just leaves a bad taste in my mouth, man. I feel like, guys, you just got to play. Either you can play or you can't, man. Salute everybody. I'm glad you guys know each other, man. Everybody's having their own conversations in here. Yeah, so I mentioned Kenny Scott Walker. KP had bad biomechanics as well. That's why his knees messed up. And also too, just using him wrong. KP never learned the post game. Something that could take the pressure off of his limbs. Because the defenders they were putting little guys on him. And just cutting his legs off. That's why that's the way that you defend Kristaps. And he got hurt because he was out there trying to be a shooting guard. Somebody that's driving the lane and banging it on people when he should be really trying to extend his career, learning different skill sets. Going into his 3rd year when we traded him, or whatever, how many years he was here, 4th year. He never learned a post-up game. So we really don't want to repeat that. So we have, these guys have to get better. If they don't, we just have to move on from them. Man, let's see what we got here. Just kind of skimming through what you guys are talking about. I'm hoping Randall could fix Cat. The thing is, Cat has the skills. He has a really high skill set. So the thing with him is just that he has to just learn how to win. So we're already winning. So it's not, when we get Cat, it's not like we're going to be running the game through Cat. Cat got to learn how to fit into what we're doing. That goes with anybody. Like Oladipo, I've been very high on Oladipo. People talk about his efficiency and stuff like that. The thing is, when we're already a winning team, it's not like we're getting a guy to make us a winning team. We're already a team that's floating, between being the bottom of the playoffs into the middle of the playoffs. So we've been going back and forth, with that seesaw. So we're a decent team, man. So if we get somebody, they're gonna have to fit into what we're doing. Not we're gonna have to fit into what they're doing. That's not how it goes, man. It's a different scenario. Knicks haven't been in this scenario in a while. So like I said, we're a decent team. If we get somebody, they have to fit into what we're doing. The game plan. Tom Thibodeau's not all of a sudden going to change his whole style just because another person is here. If we still have our core guys in the mix, because we're not trading Randall and we're not trading, RJ. So if we keep these guys and we keep the same thing, we're not changing the offense. Let's kind of just go through here. May the 4th is always going crazy in my chat, man. Shout out to May the 4th. Thank you for always chiming in. But they go Wi-Fi. I haven't seen you in a minute too, man. But I know you're always here. I see you guys talking about Vucevic and Fournier. What else we got here? Mitch is a bum. Yeah, man. Yeah, we're very close, man. I wish we can get healthy. If we can get healthy, then we really could see what we have. But I mean, we already seen what we had, throughout the whole season. We know what type of team we are. We know we hold our hat on defense. We know we run the ball through through all the offense through Randall. We know that we could function without a point guard. Because Randall has 17 assists, and people still talking about that we need to get Lonzo Ball and stuff like that. And like, why do we need to get Lonzo Ball? We're a team that functions well without a point guard. If we get Lonzo Ball, now we have to change our offense because now everybody wants Lonzo Ball to have the ball in his hand. Taken away from what we're doing. Why Derrick Rose works is Derrick Rose has an ability to get to the basket and shoot the mid range and stuff like that. Lonzo Ball doesn't go to the basket. So these are things that you guys got to think about when it comes to adding players and stuff like that. Somebody like Lonzo, I think will be good in the offseason. I'm not saying that I don't want him, but Lonzo Ball will be good in the offseason because then we can tweak the offense and get him more involved and utilizing the things that he does well. So I mean, he could play off the ball like everyone's gonna say in the chat or whatever. You can shoot the 3 in the center. Yeah, you can utilize those different skills and stuff like that. But when you start talking about give him the ball, letting him be the point guard and stuff like that, we don't play that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something to really think about. What else are we talking about here? Like I said, once again, thanks again for tuning in, you guys. You guys help me a lot. Man, stay away from players that have injury problems. You're talking about Oladipo probably. Oladipo does have injury problems, man. But like I said, when he comes here, like I said, we're not going to expect him to play 40-something minutes. We're not going to expect him to get all the shots all of a sudden. He has to come here and fit into what we're doing. If Oladipo gets hot, he will. Oladipo will be like John Starks for us. He'll be like that type of guy. He's not going to be very efficient, but then some nights he's going to look like he's going to look brilliant. Some nights, what I'm saying? And some nights he's not. So, but excuse me, that's good because he'll fit in the mix of everything that we're doing because we need the extra player. We need an extra player to help us out. Like I said, Bullock. Like last night against Orlando, thank God we played Orlando because we only had Randall, we only had Bullock, we only had Burke, and who was the other guy that we had? We only had a few guys on the court. Oh, excuse me, RJ, of course. We only had 4 guys really that was really scoring the ball. Although all the other guys were kind of getting in when they fit in, but we only have 4 guys that could shoot the ball, man. Most nights that's all we have is 4 guys really being able to score. Like I said, if we had Rose, when Rose is healthy, Rose could do it. If Alfred, got his contacts in or whatever, because he's legally blind, if he's doing well, then he adds something to the team. Then you can call to Frank Ntilikina with his defense and things of that nature. What I'm saying? Then all of a sudden that stuff kind of makes sense. But even when we're full strength, we still need that extra guy. We need that extra dude. Like somebody said backup center. We need that backup center to be able to stretch, to give us a different look, to still help us what we're doing, but give us a different look. And like I said, we just need that extra perimeter guy to help us out there. Trevor Ariza went to Miami. That would have been a nice pickup. Because like I said, we don't need somebody so crazy. Like Ariza, is going to come here and fill his role, passing lanes, shooting on 3-pointers, playing defense, you running the floor, mid-range stuff. He's going to do all of that. Oladipo's going to do the same thing, except Oladipo is more known for a scorer. So some nights he's going to get high scoring games, just because that's who he is. You know what I'm saying? So we just need that kind of guy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter who he is, just as long as these guys play hard and play defense. And I feel like everybody that we've been putting out there has been doing that. So I don't know if we got a fake Obi Toppin here. So there is no deal with me. Okay. So we'll see what happens with that, man. Obi Toppin, he has talent. I'm not saying that he doesn't have talent, but right now in the way that he's playing, he's kind of embarrassing himself, messing up his stock. So it would be nice to bench him a little while, to see what's going on. If the bottom falls out, we don't make the playoffs at the end of the year, then you put Obi back in. But right now we're in the mix of this playoff run, and we're trying to stay in the playoffs, and we're trying to solidify ourselves. We really need to get rid of Obi out of this rotation. What else you guys are talking about here? We need an offensive rebounder. Someone to get well, Mitch is that guy. I see May the 4th and Bodega going back and forth. Yeah, Mitch is definitely that guy. So we like I said, we just need to get healthy. Yeah, man. So this is just my podcast about Obi Toppin. Like I said, I just want to be on the record that I wanted him here. Especially when he fell, I thought we had a steal. I thought he was going to be this, that, and the other. But not everybody's correct, man. There's a bunch of different players that I thought were going to play well, and they did. So but not everybody can get it right. So even NBA teams, they draft a lot of busts, man. Like let's see who's a real draft bust so far. James Wiseman hasn't really been that great. He's been okay. But like I said, he had flashes. Who's Killian Hayes, like I said, but he had a flash. Okongwu hasn't played yet. Well, he's played, but he hasn't really played a lot. Was he averaging 3 points, two rebounds? He hasn't played a lot. Denny, he's played, but he had flashes. I've seen a couple games of him where he played decent. But he's only averaging 6 and 4. But at least he's averaging 6 and 4. Obi Toppin is averaging 4 and 2 right now, with similar minutes. Similar minutes and stuff like that. I think Denny's getting a little bit more minutes than Obi though. But he's on a team where they need him because Washington Wizards, they're not that good. Like I said, you can just go down the line with all these different guys here, man. A lot of these guys are playing heavy minutes. Halliburton's getting 30 minutes a game. Denny's getting 22 minutes a game, by the way. Obi's only getting 12. Even if you project Obi up until 22 minutes a game, he's going to be averaging 8 and 4. But, his percentages are not really good. You're talking about 47%, shooting 30% from 3. Like I said, if he was on one of these other teams, like if he was on Detroit or some of these teams that don't mind playing people, then he can really show a little bit more. But he's not going to show it here, man, because we're trying to win games, and playing him so heavy is not going to win us any games. Sadiq Bey, I think, is really good, man. His minutes are going up right now. Shout out to anybody that picked him up in fantasy. He's going to be putting up some big numbers down the stretch here. But there's a lot of decent players here, man. Even guys like Peyton Pritchard, some of these other guys, they're pretty good, man. It's been a good draft. I think we're going to look back at this draft as one of the better drafts in the NBA. Not necessarily getting all-stars, but just getting guys that are going to contribute to an NBA basketball club. Yeah, man. Yeah, so anyway, thank you for tuning into the Dynamics podcast. Please check out the replay so you can check out everything that I was saying. I mentioned Kenny Skywalker. I mentioned Chris Gatling. I mentioned Tyrus Thomas and Sean Marion as 4 different guys. They kind of is like a player comparison to Obi Toppin, man. So, Obi Toppin is on our team. I wanted to do well, but like I said, he doesn't need to play anymore. He needs to sit on the bench. We need to get somebody else in here that's going to fill in that spot. And we have time to do that, man. Trade deadline is less than a week right now. What day is today? The 19th. Tomorrow's the 20th. So we're talking about 6 days, 5, so 5.5 days from now is going to be the trade deadline. So we'll see what happens, man. There's been a couple fringe trades, but hopefully the Knicks can get involved in some of that stuff. We got a lot of assets. Maybe we can be a third wheel to a trade. But anyway, man, this is your boy Ebru the Anti-Star. 4 fingers to the forehead, tucking the thumb salute. See you guys in the next one. Please support the channel, guys. Before you go, get out there and subscribe, and hit the thumbs up so this help the channel grow, and share the podcast, man. If you enjoy hanging out with me or whatever during the show, just share it and let people know that that I'm out here doing stuff. I'm gonna try to be more active like around this time or so. So just follow me on Twitter. You can follow me at diehard Knicks PC, and I usually post when I'm gonna come on, so you guys can follow me there. Instagram and all that stuff, Die Hard Knicks Podcast. And it is what it is, man. Once again, thanks again for tuning in. See you guys in the next one. All right, peace.